This might be a recurring segment, we'll see. But we toyed around with the idea of potentially of uh wondering what would a similar format look like with other sort of franchises and pop culture staples within our world. And I decided that we were going to kind of pick one at random out of a hat
Okay.
and just kind of spitball for like however long we decide about what hypothetically that world would look like if it was the center of our podcast instead of the Sony Spider-Man world
So
of
like
film.
so like so like a Daredevil Pictures universe of Marvel movies without Daredevil, essentially.
Right.
Okay. All
Or
right.
like Fantastic Four without Fantastic Four, so it's just Marvel Cosmic with nobody to stop them.
Oh, Mole Man.
Yes, the Mole Man cinematic universe.
Yeah. Mole Man's our corner character. Anyways, so you got a hat and you
So
got
I've
little
totally
things
got a
inside the
hat here,
hat.
very real for real, that I'm going to pull out of randomly.
Is it
Trust,
like a
guys.
bowler?
Summer, I want to
Like
fuck
a
your dad.
Stetson?
All right, here we go.
Fez?
It's the Flash, everybody.
Frick,
Oh.
yes. Okay, this
Ooh.
is my bread and butter. The
We're gonna
Flash
try and
is
pitch. We're gonna spitball between the three of us. We don't necessarily have to say here's what individual pitches would look like, but we can if we want to if the muse really strikes us. But we're gonna take Flash's rogues gallery and try and come up with a universe where they're his world is the only world that exists, but the main hero is not there. There are no speedsters in this universe,
Mhm.
just speedster villains.
That's so funny.
Well, of course, your
Um,
Avengers would be the rogues. Like that would
yes.
be the phase
Exactly.
one capper is the
I
rogues.
felt like this would be an easy one to start with because the immediate answer is well the rogues.
Mhm.
The
Right.
Flash is my favorite superhero, straight up.
That's why
Uh,
I picked them. I mean, drew them out of the hat.
so man, I
Totally
would
random.
love to do like a Flash, like a phase of Flash stuff. But yes, starting with the Rogues makes the most sense. Captain Cold is our main character
For
for
sure.
Yeah.
this. But I think that you could, if we were willing to fudge the rules a little bit, even on this first game,
Mm.
um, the main villain would still be Reverse Flash, and it
That's what I
is
was curious. I was curious if we'd be able to find a way to
well,
stay a reverse flash.
Eobard just wanders into this random universe.
I was gonna say he
Um,
goes back in time and like through multiversal shenanigans, he ends up in a world where Barry Allen and speedsters in general do not exist.
yeah,
And so he's like, holy shit, I can just have free reign of this entire world.
I can just rule it completely. There's no Barry to stop me, and so I'm just going to kill indiscriminately. um,
Be valid.
So
and
our phase
so
one in theory would just be the rogues themselves, right?
I would say so. And you could make it weird, like your group
Oh yeah.
of characters.
Flash's world is very Silver Age weird. You just gotta
So
commit.
I would say like you have Captain Cold to um open this phase, and it's him like dealing with uh maybe trying to think. Something similar actually to Enforcers is where my mind originally goes, where he's trying to upgrade himself
Mhm.
to
Okay.
match a like a changing world where he's like, I want to be a crook. This is my life's calling is to just steal stuff.
And
Um,
if this is the lightning rod that starts this whole cascade, if this is our Iron Man, and Iron Man in theory is like the the spark that lights this massive fire that turns into the all of the MCU. I imagine that the Captain Cold movie would, if it's the first one, would exist in a world where there are no costume supervillains yet. superheroes or villains yet.
So
And
Oh,
so
I
he's
like
like,
that.
in order to get a leg up from the common crook, I need a gimmick. I need something that means if I ever go toe to toe with the cops or even another criminal, what gives me the edge to be able to kill and or best them?
I like that. Where I would think it would go first, is a more personal motivation for that. Um, one of Snart's huge motivating factors in any adaptation is his relationship with his sister. Um, and it could end up being almost a John Wick kind of story where a bunch of the like Central City mob bosses or something, they want to keep Snart on a leash. So they uh, kidnap his sister after the Snarts are sold out by Snart's own father. Um, and so to get them back, uh, Snart starts building this new persona um, of like hard vigilanteism to get his sister back from this organization and becomes Captain Cold to like get this done. Um, and so it's both motivated by getting a gimmick. That's kind of what he's just telling everybody around him. But
Mhm.
like as we're watching it, we can tell that it is specifically to protect his family. Because that's the cool thing about Snart as a villain is that ultimately he is an honorable man. Um, he just really enjoys stealing things.
Now, would this be a situation where let me ask you this. This is he already like in cahoots with uh oh god, Mick Rory? Heatwave?
I would say having him at least partnered with Mick in this first one. Like Mick could be the answer to Rhodey in Iron Man 1.
Okay.
Um, where it's not like we have War Machine yet, but we have Mick Rory, who is one of Snart's like most common like accomplices.
Mhm.
And so
I
he's kind of
think
he's like
mm,
the just the partner character in this film.
right. I think if you were I think this world needs to because without I think part of the appeal. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Where again is Flash's home city? What's it called? Star City?
Central City.
It's Central City,
Central
and
City.
one of the reasons I love Central City so much is because it's kind of just St. Louis. It is it's assumed that Central City is just like one of the big Missouri cities.
Hmm.
And me
I th-
being a Missouri native is like, heck yeah, give
I
us any representation.
the trick with a lot of Flash villains is that many of them are evil clones or alternate versions of speedsters. I think it would be interesting if, like, up until the Reverse Flash's appearance, the idea of a speedster is completely foreign to this world. There's no impulse, there's no Savitar, Zoom, anything like that, at least for a
I
while.
I do love that. However,
The concept of
this
a
is
speedster is completely foreign to anybody.
this is
And,
not
like,
Speedster, but I think in this world you do need like the second movie of Phase 1 to be Grodd.
Yeah.
mm, I was wondering um if Grodd would be maybe the Phase 1 villain for the Rogues crossover.
Ooh,
That could
you do
work
like
too. That could work too.
You do a Grodd movie, and then like Grodd is kind of the villain of the Phase One capper.
Hmm.
Phase Three, a sort of Thanos level threat would be Reverse Flash, right?
I don't even know if he would be a Thanos level threat because you'd have to make him appear at some point and make a big splash first.
The most obvious Peyton pitch would be Rainbow Raider. I think I could do a banger Rainbow
Heck
Raider.
yeah, I love Rainbow Raider.
Yeah.
Gotta do
Mirror Master. You have to
I
have
would
a Mirror
love
Master.
I would love to play with Mirror Master or Captain Boomerang,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I think because there are no speedsters in this world, part of the appeal to me of the speedster as a concept is that he would work perfectly in a city where crime is a constant factor. So he's zipping around like a speedster would theoretically be zipping around the city constantly stopping crimes in the
Mhm.
middle of while they're happening. So you need somebody who physically is faster than anybody else to be able to stop multiple things in a matter of seconds.
Mhm.
So
Right.
the idea for to me of a central city without speedsters is one that is riddled with crime, like corrupt to the core, top to bottom, just awful. But it's all like common crooks. There's some like criminal gangs and underworlds to factor in, but largely it's
Which
I don't think it's quite Punisher One Last Kill levels of depraved, but like you spend more than an hour, you spend more than 30 minutes in Central City, you can anybody would know this place it reeks of corruption and crime
so I
from
would
the moment.
say
And
more like
so
Daredevil season 1.
Mhm.
yes, that would make more sense. And then like initially Captain Cold and Heatwave's goal is to be able to carve out their own piece of this empire, like carve out an empire for themselves of this crime-riddled city by getting a leg up by getting something that nobody else has. But then as more people start to show up after them, they sort of start a wave of people like creating tech, getting
Mhm.
into weird science experiment stuff. And again, get weird with it. Like these are criminals, these are people who aren't exactly the brightest. They're probably trying stuff that no sane person would even consider. And they're ending up with crazy ass powers despite it all when they should have just died from the things that they've tried in order to try and get an edge.
You know what this is
And
really sounding like?
hmm,
Enforcers and Big Wheel.
Oh my god.
kinda. Did you just model your side of the Smith pod inadvertently after Central City's Rogues?
I mean, Central City's Rogues are one of my favorite like comic groups ever, so it might have been subconscious. Um, no,
But yeah,
but
like I think after the team gets together probably as like a heist thing. Like their first deal is like, okay, we're not rather than fight one another, we all want the same thing. We're gonna carve out our own empire out of this mess. Let's do it together. And then over the course of the film, they decide that rather than like in sort of rogues fashion, I don't remember if there's got certainly an arc where they pretend to be heroes. Like they pretend to have gone good.
I don't think that's a I think you're thinking of Zemo's Thunderbolts. The Rogues have never like pretended to go good. Um, they've always just kind of been Snart is the one who holds them by the leash. And where I think this would be really good to go with is that like as it becomes more and more clear that these uh new kinds of crooks are going to destroy Central City. Snart kind of decides, okay, well, somebody's going to have to stop him,
They
and
could
so
You could pull in elements of the Thunderbolts with it, where they're like, okay, if this continues the way it's going, all of Central City would get torn apart. So if we
yes,
want our to obtain our goal, we need to stop it from falling apart. And when
yes,
they save the city only because they want it for themselves, they start to be like everybody loves them suddenly because they're people think that
yeah,
they're like heroes that have risen up to defeat like to rid the city of crime. And for a while, they just decide to, like, play the part of heroes. They're like, "Yeah, totally," because they're getting everything they want, and so, like, they're getting everything they want. They're, like, secretly like, "Yes, this is how we rule," and maybe over time some of them are like, I don't know, I kind of like this.
Yeah, that's straight up the plot of Thunderbolts in the 90s.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, and it works. It works perfectly. But where was I going with this? Um, I would honestly say, uh, you have Captain Cold 1, and then Captain Cold 2 is your first Rogues team up. But
Mm, mhm,
make it a heist like Ocean's 11,
Mhm.
um,
yeah.
where he's like putting together his crew for the first time, and they get to know each other, and that's your team up film. But it's like Captain Cold 2, uh, I don't know, some pun about the teams on ice or something. And then like you have the Rogues be a much bigger like group consistently throughout this series,
Mhm.
um, to the point that they end up becoming like this Robin Hood and his merry men kind of group, I think.
That'd be dope.
They could come into their name a little bit backwards, um, like calling themselves the Dashing Rogues or like
The
something similar.
dashing.
Like they try to go for like the Robin Hood and his merry men type of vibe with their team at first. So they kind of stumble into the rogues, but it's not overtly villainous
Mhm.
because they're kind of under the guise of like trying to seem on the level. I don't know. I stumbled across. I was like, the Dashing Rogues sounds really cool. Sounds really funny.
They can-
What's another example? I know the rogues. Obviously, I know Grodd. I know uh,
You
Reverse
kind
Flash,
of
of course.
we kind of need to is there any Flash characters introduced in a Flash comic book? Because that's kind of the key to the sort of
He
Sony
is.
thing that would
Yes.
effectively do our Madam Web, as in like a Flash hero introduced in a Flash comic that is like you have a movie about them, but for some inexplicable reason, like you cannot
Elongated
have
Man.
elongated man. You do an elongated man movie, and it's like
I
this
would
dude
love to
is
do an
so.
elongated man movie. Ralph Dibny and Sue Dibny are such an underrated comic couple. They are both private investigators that work together, and like Ralph having the stretchy powers is entirely secondary.
Yeah,
It's
their
Yeah,
first
so
appearance
great.
was Flash 112 in 1960.
Oh yeah,
I think
I
that
know my
works.
stuff.
I think that would be dope. In which it's just like you kind of have the elongated man movie or whatever you want to call it, Dibney Investigations, right? Um, something about Ralph and Sue. Oh my gosh, it's like part romance, but also like part noir. You know?
Hmm.
Oh man.
Who else debuted technically in a Flash comic? Like, we could incorporate other heroes into this if they first appeared in a Flash comic. Google
Okay.
AI is telling me Hawkman it debuted in a Flash
Ain't
comic. I don't
no
know if
fucking
No,
way.
I don't know that.
no.
No.
I don't think that's true.
No.
There's no way that's true.
Google AI told me I'll die yesterday, which was kind of lit.
That wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
Did you?
Damn.
So
If we
we've
go
got
back
um
to, oh gosh,
well,
there's so many different versions of Hawkman, dude.
we've got Pied Piper, who was originally a villain but is now more of a straight up ally, um, who I think could easily carry a movie by himself. Um, there's let's see.
There's no way.
No way, what?
Hawkman debuted in Flash Comics #1 in 1940,
Oh my god.
a Jay Garrick comic.
Okay, alright, that makes sense.
Hawkman's
That's
valid.
hilarious.
Carter
Hawkman is the
Hall.
main hero of our flashless universe.
That's crazy.
Okay. You've got
I had to go back because there's like 10 different versions of Hawkman because Hawkman's history is insane and convoluted. Mo- there's one version of him that debuted in an Aquaman comic. Secret Origins. But
I feel
yeah,
like you could do.
the very first appearance was
We've
Flash
got
Comics in 1940.
we've got the Red Trinity, a trio of Russian superheroes named Anatoly, Bebek, and Cassiopeia.
What did you say their
Um,
name was?
the Red Trinity.
Okay, I thought you said the Red 40.
No,
Yeah, artificial.
That's a hilarious team
They're
name.
also called the Capitalist Couriers.
incredible.
That's wonderful.
I love that for them.
Anatoly and Bebek. Interesting.
Ooh, really, really dumb idea. Um, okay, so one of the characters that first appeared in the Flash is named Dexter Miles. I just clicked on his Wikipedia page.
Wookie
Um, he's a former actor and curator of the Flash Museum. Movie about
Hank-
Dexter Miles that is an Indiana Jones archaeologist movie. Finding hints to different superheroes around the world.
that could be
He-
dope.
He discovers Hawkman. He reawakens Hawkman because he's
He
Indiana
awa-
Jones and he goes to
reawakens-
Egypt.
Holy cow. Yep.
All right, new podcast. We're happy to announce. Has to do with Flash, I think.
Back in a Flash,
Back in a Flash.
a DC Comics fanfic podcast.
I think that this does have legs. I mean, honestly, the Flash is probably the most built for a universe where he doesn't exist.
I would be. You already know I'd be so down. I love the Flash.
I kind of figured that's why I wanted to draw him out of a hat first try.
Yep. It's very lucky. Very lucky that you did.
Here's
So
hoping
in
next
future,
bonus pod we could do
can
King
either
of the Hill.
I was gonna say we can either take turns coming up with other like popular comic book franchises or like just pop culture franchises in general,
I kind of.
or we can genuinely pull names out of a hat. What were you gonna say?
I might write some of this down. I kind of like to stay here for a bit, but this is a very very fun thing to do for.
Are you gonna come back with a scriptment for a Captain Cold movie next bonus pod?
Yeah, so guys, I am no longer going to be a co-writer on Maximum Clonage. I am fully committed.
Once the Smith pod is over, we each commit to our own like superhero-less universe, and
Oh my god.
we go back. We take turns writing the next pitch in that universe.
And we all compete with each other, and whoever has the most views gets $20.
$20.
Shit, I'm down. I can always use $20.
$20 is $20, man.
$20.
Give me
is
$20. Give me $20.
Okay. Well, that was
This is
awesome.
fun. This might actually
really
become a
fun.
recurring segment because that was fun.
Absolutely.
We this for those of you who are not in the Discord, well, everybody's in the Discord because you got the bonus pod. For anybody wondering where this even came from, there was a discussion a little while ago about where Peyton and I were in voice call discussing like what if like a Smith pod but for X-Men. And it was like, who is a linchpin character for the X-Men that without them the world would look very different? And we landed on Charles Xavier. So it's like, who forms the X-Men and how different would the X-Men be if it wasn't Charles that did it? And your first answer is like, well, Magneto forms the X-Men. And it's like, well, that's just the Brotherhood though. And we spitballed with you guys, and at one point somebody said that Cable led the X-Men at one point when Xavier was gone. And I gotta find it now because we were having a blast in that chat for a while.
Yeah, I had an idea for like a lone wolf and cub thing where it's Logan, Wolverine, but he's having to have two babies, one of them being Cassandra Nova, the other one being an infant Charles Xavier, like a toddler Cassandra Nova and Charles, um, going on like
So
a
I
little
wrote here.
adventure.
So what I came up with replying to somebody else. Cable is the last surviving mutant of a post-apocalyptic future. Goes back in time to try and change history and make a better world for mutants. He finds and guides a team that eventually becomes the X-Men. Very different lineup, way more X-Forceian vibe at first, save for Jean and Scott eventually joining, much to Cable's chagrin. Over time, he's forced to actually nurture and guide these children, and he becomes less hardened as a result. Also having to deal with watching the relationship between his future parents start to blossom and the awkwardness of that.
That's horrible.
Cable's first plan is create a Black Ops team to take out every
Damn.
threat to mutants. Doesn't work. Arguably even makes the future worse, so Cable has to begrudgingly change tactics.
Make
Did you
the
say
make the
that's
main
horrible
villain.
because he has to watch
Yeah.
his folks like fall in love?
Make the main villain Moira McTaggart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you do the Hox Pox thing and make Moira a mutant with the abilities from the
Maybe he
Krakoa
keeps trying to
era.
change the future, and then like each time he runs into like Moira, it's like, what are you doing? I'm trying
Said
to help.
at one point said maybe at first he avoids letting Scott and Jean join. He's like trying to predict where they'll be, and he's like, okay, we need to make sure we go around this area so that we don't run into two of the most powerful mutants in history. Because if we stumble into them, they'll end up on the team, and if one of them accidentally dies, then this whole thing is goes bluey. But through chicanery, they end up on the team anyway, and he has to like be really overprotective of them. And so they have to like they slowly realize like why he's being so protective of them specifically. He has to deal with them like starting to develop a relationship. He's like, "Ah, god damn it." Oh, what did Peyton said something about it. I'm sorry, I'm just reading messages now. But somebody said, "Oh, where is it at?" I don't know, it was just a short joke. Where was it at? Somebody said
No
like, "Oh,
more.
there's a Sentinel, hey, Cable, we've just found a Sentinel factory down the street." And Cable remembers that Scott and Jean both have dishes duty that evening, and he immediately decides to jump in and help because he doesn't wanna hear them make goo goo eyes the whole time.
Nice.
But yeah, just kinda spitballing that pitch in chat and in call, I was like, "You know what? This would be really fun to start doing regularly." And we could maybe do X-Men at a later date and just come up with a completely different premise. But I kinda like the idea of drawing out of a hat and just doing a different one each episode. Just maybe we sometimes do, like, after enough time, we draw the second one again, like, a while later and have to come up with a different take entirely.
That could be fun.
But yeah, expect this to probably become a recurring segment because this was a lot of fun.
Very
Absolutely.
cool.
Alrighty. Let's close it out.
Folks, we love you.
Bye. Of course, thank you so much for supporting us on the Patreon. Y'all are wonderful and excellent people. Um, if y'all like what we do, please share with your friends, your family, your loved ones, your enemy ones.
Tell people to
Um,
rate on their podcatcher of choice.
please,
Believe
please.
it does help a ton because once it gets enough ratings, even if they're not like 5 stars across the board, it does push it out to more people. We'd love to for new people to discover the community.
We're trying to get to 8 million subscribers by the end of the month. So please
We're halfway
please
there.
spread the word. We're halfway there, baby. We're almost there. So yeah. Anyways, I'm Peyton.
I'm Jarrett.
I'm Noah.
And I'm Peyton. See y'all. See y'all
Take
around.
care, guys.
Bye-bye.
No, Noah.
and I'm paying.